Hi everyone, I'm Karl. This is Eric Bell. We're recording this from the 7th Street Gym in Phoenix. A few months ago, Eric and I put out a video on intermittent fasting. We had such a great time of it, we decided to start doing a series of Ask the Trainer forums. We put an email out, we asked you if you had any questions pertaining to health and fitness, and boy did you respond. Thank you very much. So today's episode, we're going to address Denise's question. And Denise asks, what can I do to strengthen my glutes in order to protect my back? And this is a pretty common area, and especially if you're active, we just pound our bodies all the time. Even if we're standing incorrectly, sitting incorrectly, walking around, over time, things are gonna happen to our lower back. So when Eric and I first discussed this, we came up with 3 different exercises. 2 that are fairly common, and 1 I've never heard of called bracing. So let's get to it, right? So deadlifts, we'll go through deadlifts first, right?
Yeah, let's go through deadlifts.
So what's the proper form of deadlifts, and why does somebody want to do them?
Well, you want to strengthen your posterior chain, that'll be your lower back, your glutes, your hamstrings, actually your whole body. You want to do deadlifts. Any strength program that is worth its salt is going to have some form of picking an object up, sit down, stand up, or pressing. So deadlifts, squats, strict shoulder presses, and bench presses. All programs are built around that. So if you can deadlift, you should deadlift. The easiest approach I've seen for learning how to deadlift is starting strength with Mark Ripito. And their approach is approach the bar, feet about shoulder width apart, toes slightly out. Grab hold of the bar, outside your legs, don't move the bar. Bring your shins to the bar, don't move the bar, and then drag the bar off your body and extend your hips fully. And that's how you deadlift. So it's approach the bar, put the bar over the center of your feet, because you're going to balance that weight right where your laces are on your shoes. It's not going to be in the ball of your foot, it's not going to be in the heel. You're going to keep the bar there. That bar is going to travel a straight line. Grab the bar, not moving the bar, bringing the shins to the bar, lifting the chest, dragging the body. As you pull it up, if your shorts go up, you know you're dragging it up. If there's space between the bar and your body, then it's the weight's going to be on your toes and not balanced over the center of your feet.
So one thing that I try to instruct when I do this, so come on in position. So what I want people to understand with this is it's not a leg move. It's actually you're working through your hips continually. So go into position, right? So everything's happening right in here, in this motion here, and then stand. So he's going to push out and then stand all the way, right? And in, and fully extend. It's not coming from here, it's coming from here.
Glutes.
Correct? Right, so glutes, lower back. Right, but for sure, but it's not a squat move. It's not a leg move. It's here. Right. And quite frankly, I mean, it can be for most of the general population. I have 70-year-olds that I have them do, they start off with 3 and 5 pound dumbbells, and they're doing the same motion. Why not?
Absolutely.
As long as there's not a strain. You don't have to do 95, you don't have to do 200-pound deadlifts to get it bent.
You don't have to be a barbell either. I mean, you got to pick things up. Right. You're going to pick things up. You got to learn to pick things up. You learn how to transfer the weight through your feet into the floor without snapping your back.
All right. Okay, hip thrusters. Let's talk about hip thrusters, right? We're going to move over here. So, you want me to get in there and explain, or?
Well, what we're going to do is just put this weight. There will be more weight on this. The weight's going to go where you bend. I drop down, and then I'm going to squeeze up as high as I can from my glutes. I'm going to fully extend from my hips. If there's a little bend like this, I haven't fully extended my hips. And that's where a lot of problems come in, though. We'll discuss that in a bit. But I want to drop and then squeeze as high as they'll go. Full hip extension. All right?
Again, hinging from the hips, not from the legs or anywhere else.
Exactly.
Because you're working lower back and glutes.
Yeah,
correct.
Extend fully from the hips.
Right. Right. Do you care about head placement, tucking your chin or anything like
You
that?
should probably tuck your chin.
Because you want to at the same time kind of keeping your head neutral. So
Well, there's some people that really think you should tuck your chin, and they're really good at like the glute guy.
okay. Right. For Contreras.
Yeah, Contreras.
Right.
He's into tucking the chin. So I would go exactly what
Right.
Brett Contreras says about
Brett Contreras,
tucking the chin.
Right. Okay. So I want you to tell bracing. You talked about bracing. This is something I've never heard of before. Is it an isometric move where you're holding the weight?
Yeah. Well, see, what the problem is when people brace, they do this. They crunch.
Okay.
That's not necessarily a braced position. And if you're trying to keep a neutral spine, which would be straight, I'm gonna flex my glutes. I'm gonna fill my stomach with air, and then contract my abs. It's not a sucked in or faulty position. If I suck in, that's gonna weaken my midsection. There's a drill we can do with a kettlebell that will show you what I mean by bracing.
Okay. We use this mat here.
Yeah.
Of course, you pick up the biggest kettlebell in the building.
All right. So bracing, I'm going to breathe in, which makes the weight go up, and then I'm going to hold it. All right. That's the action you want to have when you're bracing for an exercise. You take not a chest breath in. It's not this. It's a diaphragm breath. So I breathe in, and I hold it.
So it's kind of an isometric move, in a sense,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Because you're holding the move with your abs, but you're working some lower back with that as well?
you're pressing out in all directions. So you're pressing out here, sides, and out from the back.
Okay.
All right, and it's held so your spine stays in one position. So let's say you're lifting an odd-shaped object like an atlas stone. You're gonna be rounded, so the spine's not neutral. But if you lock it in that rounded position, your spine's safe. If it's moving around and you're breathing, letting out all the power.
That's why you want to brace.
That's why you brace. So you're holding it. The muscles are holding your spine in a nice stable position. Another exercise, or I don't say exercise, but
We getting a bonus?
a bonus. It's not my technique. It's something I borrowed from somebody else. It's a loose belt technique. All right. So I put a belt on when I'm getting ready to do my lift. Now, a lot of people will tighten the belt down really tight, and that's causing that artificial protection of their spine. But put the belt on sort of loose, and as I go to do the exercise, I breathe in and press out against it, and I lock my spine in position. I take a breath in, and I'm pressing this belt out here and out to the back, and that locks it in position. All right, so you utilize the belt as a tool to press against.
Kind of bracing. Going back to the bracing. So you're bracing up against the belt.
Exactly.
So you constantly have something to push up against.
Yeah, feedback.
Right.
Something you actually feel that you can press against.
Right. All right, so that's 3 of those exercises. We're going to move back to the other area. So we also put out an email and we asked if you had any questions other than the initial one. And Nancy, you asked about posture and lower back, what you can do as far as sitting and standing. And a lot of that is positioning and having an awareness of where your body is. The one thing you don't want to do is always be constantly bending towards this way because you're going to put a lower back, standing or seating. So seating, if you're at a desk or a table, say you're at the computer, in order to not do this, you want to make sure everything's at eye level. Your elbows are at 90 degrees. If they're dropped, your shoulders are going to drop. If they're higher than that, you're going to end up shrugging, right? Everything wants to be at eye level. So that way you're not leaning forward and then hurting your back. You also asked about standing. And standing for long periods of time is going to hurt your back also. So what you can do is you can shift your weight from side to side if you find you're going to, right? And also put a little soft bend to your knee so you're not standing perfectly straight up for 10, 15 minutes. Put a lot of strain on the back. You have anything for posture?
Not as much for posture, but more endurance A lot of times your back will get tired just because you're out of shape. It doesn't have much endurance. So a lot of these exercises, like the hip bridge, you don't have to crank out reps. You could hold the weight up.
Okay, so you hold
that
it,
position, right?
and then lower it down, and then come up
Or
and
just
hold
for
it
time.
for a pause, right?
Yeah.
5
Or you can do
seconds.
back extensions. A lot of people that have bad backs don't want to do back extensions, but you could get in the extended position and hold that and build up the endurance on your glutes, hamstrings, and back, just holding that position without having to grind away at the joints. So if there's an issue with the disc
Right.
or some kind of arthritis, something, you can get the endurance back there. And another one is just walking.
Walking.
Man, someone has back pain, a lot of times they're just weak back there.
They
They're
want to
walking.
move. You got to move.
So we got to build up time walking.
Movement's always the key, isn't
Yeah.
it? Mario, you emailed in and you said, I'm a golfer. My back does not usually bother me, but I was trying to strengthen my glutes, and I believe I strained my lower back where my glutes meet. It has been nagging for weeks. Any thoughts? When we first talked about, we talked about the imbalance, right? You're always swinging towards one
Always
side.
loading one side.
You know, certainly if something is acute, you want to ice and rest. Do you have anything to strengthen? I got a couple of moves.
But here's the thing. He says his back is sore.
It's strained. He
It's
strained his
strained.
lower back where his glutes meet.
Now, was that assessed by a physical therapist? Did you see? Did he look for any help?
Right.
He's gone to a professional to deal with what's causing the pain.
Right.
So you did just maybe it's just sore. We don't know.
Okay.
We also don't know what exercises he's doing.
Right.
Is he deadlifting? Is
Right.
he doing hip raises?
Is any of that bothering him?
Right. And it could just be sore muscles because again, weak back.
Right.
You work a muscle, it gets sore. So it could be soreness and it's stiff because he hasn't worked it and he just recently started it. So maybe his back is just not strong.
Right.
But without knowing
Right,
what
right.
he was doing.
Not knowing what you've done in the past. But however, going into that, I've got 2 moves, Mario, for you to look at in the future to help strengthen that imbalance. And remember, you're torquing your body constantly, so you're going to one side all the time. So we've got 2 moves. One is an adduction move for your hips. You're going to want to wrap a band. You can take a plyo band and wrap it around, an object. You're going to want to put one foot through it. Get into a spot where you can brace yourself. Okay. I'm going to turn you, Dan. We're going to come around. All right. So from here, I'm going to pull out and in, out and in, and hold. It's going to be real ideal to keep your upper body stable. Hold this for about 5 seconds and down. Hold for 5 seconds and down, right? Hold. So you're working this. You're going to want to do both legs, by the way, okay? So you want to do hip abduction to strengthen this area. You want to get rid of that imbalance. You're going to do both sides. Now, the other move we got is a wood chop. And you're going to want to do both sides here as well. So, get yourself a handle. You're going to want to come from bottom, okay? From your knee up over your shoulder and then down. Okay? Now, we're going to want to do various levels too. We're going to go from bottom up so you can get a reverse. Okay, we're going to do so many reps that way. And then you're going to also want to go a little higher up. And just get yourself some tubing, wrap it around and in and out of an object. And then do an oblique twist this way, right? Now, Dan, I'm really going to screw you up. We're going to change positions. We're going to go up high now. So, and then to here. And then from top to bottom, Mario. So, you're going to want to do your wood chops from down below at level and then top to bottom. And both sides. You've got an unevenness in your hips, your glutes, and your lower back from constantly torquing yourself with your golf swing. So you want to even both sides out. Anything else with golfers?
Maybe side planks too.
Side planks.
Again, instead of, because it doesn't necessarily have to be reps, it could be time spent just holding a position too.
Right.
So if it's painful to do reps, sometimes holding a position and getting more endurance in that area works before you can start doing reps with it.
Right.
So
we'll give a quick one on a side plank, because the side plank form is really key. So side plank, you're going to be on the floor, Mario. You want your shoulder over your elbow. You want your chest. This is key with the side plank. Parallel to the opposite wall. To do that, put your hands on your hips. This is no good. That's your side plank. And remember, do each side. Shoot for 30 seconds initially, work your way up to a minute. I think that's going to about do it, right?
I believe so.
And so that's lower back, strengthening glutes. I hope that answered all your guys' questions. If you want to have any other questions pertaining to this or anything else related to health and fitness, Eric's email, you can reach him at newbodytraining@yahoo.com. I'm at Karl@longevitypt.com. Underneath the video, we'll give you those addresses so you can get them instead of having to worry how to spell them. And that'll be it for now. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to seeing you again.